So, you've overcome the fear. You know how to build a speech. What's next? It's obvious, really. You need something to talk about. Picking the right subject can make a huge difference in how well your speech goes. It could be tempting to just pluck a subject out of the air, to stick post-its on a dartboard and throw a dart blindfolded, pick whichever one it lands on. But this can backfire on you. I'm here to tell you today how picking the right subject can make all the difference. The first thing to consider is there are three main types of speech, and these reflect your purpose, what it is you're trying to achieve by coming up and standing here. So the first are the educational speeches. You're trying to inform people, to impart knowledge. Next are the motivational speeches. You're trying to persuade people, to stir them up through action and perhaps change their ways. And the final type is the entertaining speech. Kind of self-explanatory, but there to entertain the audience. Knowing what type of speech you can do can help focus you really well. For example, I am an avid gamer, so I want to give a speech on gaming. But if I just give myself that as a topic, it could lead to something quite unfocused. Knowing why I want to speak can help me build the speech better. For example, am I trying to tell you about my favourite games? Am I trying to persuade you that gaming is no longer the preserve of the basement-dwelling nerd stereotype? Or am I trying to entertain you with witty gaming memories of mine? Knowing what you're doing up here can help you focus your speech and build it into a better, more engaging speech. So once you have your purpose, you need to think of your core message. As before, this is all about focus. A strong core message can make a speech much more engaging with very little extra effort. A core message must be clear and succinct. A speaker can hold an audience's attention for a long time, but an audience will never remember a speech word for word. A clear core message will mean that the audience will take the spirit of your speech with them, rather than trying desperately to get them to remember witty phrases or such like. A core message must be something you are passionate about. There is absolutely no substitute for passion when speaking. If you talk about the subject you care about with a message you're interested in, then you will be much more enthusiastic, and the audience will pick up on that, and it will grab them. Passion isn't the whole side of things, though. A core message must be something you know about. Simple main reason for this, people are much more likely to listen to people that know what they're talking about. In our internet age, it's very easy to go out there and find a wealth of information. So if you are an amateur in the field, it's really easy to go out there and learn more. Knowledge will also provide one other thing, and that's simply more things to talk about. Now, one other thing to consider is the audience. Public speaking society will happily hear speeches on any topic, so it's less of a consideration when speaking here. However, when you go out into the real world, it's a university giving presentations, speeches, perhaps with your job, you do need to think about who you're talking to. Who makes up your audience? Are they a lay audience, or are they more technically minded? Are you coming in as a guest, or are you part of the group you're addressing? How big is the audience? Is it a small, intimate presentation, or are you addressing a large group of people? These questions will help you tailor a speech to be that much more effective. The important thing is not to forget your audience. It's all well and good, or you may well be standing up here alone, but you've still got to talk to someone. Now, these three things, the core message and the audience, help make a three-way Venn diagram. Right? The first section is that of subjects you know. Second section is subjects you care about, and the final section is subjects that will engage the audience. Ideally, you'll pick a subject that goes slap bang in the middle, that conforms to all these factors. But for starting out, and indeed generally to be fair, you should focus on subjects you care about and subjects you know about. There are a few practical considerations when thinking about what you're going to say, and that's first of which is timing. How long do you have to speak? If you only have a short speech, then you won't be able to fit as many details in. If you have a much longer chunk of time, you have to think of more things to say. It's important to consider this when writing it, when thinking about picking the subject. Can I say enough in the time we have? The other consideration is the context. Am I the only one speaking, or will there be others speaking at the same session? If there are others, what are they talking about? If they are talking about things on a similar topic to you, perhaps there's a conference, with one overarching theme, and they've got many guest speakers talking on it. You need to be careful what you say. You need to be careful when writing a speech that you won't steal anyone else's thunder, or indeed have your own thunder stolen. These practical considerations are slightly more minor, but they're worth keeping in mind. So it does sound like there is a lot to consider here, but it's all meant to help. By guiding yourself with this method, thinking about your purpose and your message, you'll be able to make that speech that much more focused, that much more of a cohesive unit, and that much more engaging. The right subject can make all the difference. If you pick something you don't know about, the audience will not respect you, and you'll lose them. If you pick a subject that you don't care about, that bores you, then you'll bore the audience, and you'll lose them. Picking a subject you know about and are passionate about will mean you'll have the audience eating out of the palm of your hand. Your natural enthusiasm will shine through, and you'll deliver a truly great speech. Thank you.